Well, while I get the only thing not recording is the threadcast, and I'll get on it in a second. But while I do that, we've got Joel here today from the Dash team. Obviously, we have big news. The post went out on Dash's X account as well, um, to announce everything. And my Zoom is freaking out. All right, I think we're good though. So we had the obviously we've been working on this for a long time. So I met Joel back in at Hive Fest in Croatia, and we were talking about we were talking about how Dash and INLEO could work together and be, a positive force for each other. And I think there was, and we can obviously get into all of this, but there was a really clear and obvious path of how, we could benefit each other. Dash has built a really incredible ecosystem for payments. And I think the thing that was missing was the ability to earn in Dash. So INLEO obviously has built kind of the other side of the spectrum where we have a really good, earning system and the ability to earn crypto and be active on a platform. But we didn't have that other side of the infrastructure that Dash has built. So it was kind of like, a perfect match in those terms. So I'm definitely excited to see, how this all unfolds. And Dash obviously has, a huge brand name in the crypto space. Really, I think if you talk to pretty much anybody in crypto who's been here for a while, they at least know of Dash if they haven't, used it at any point, in their career. So, I'm definitely, I'm definitely curious to see what we're able to achieve together because, I think INLEO has built some really great technology and a really great platform, but we don't have that brand recognition that something like Dash has, because they've been around for so long and have, really reached all the different parts of the space. So Joel, welcome up to the AMA.
Yeah, thanks very much for having me. This is something I've been very excited about. I've been using alt social media platforms for very many years, and there's always been sort of something lacking. I was one of the early Steam users. It's kind of funny because someone was saying something about like, "Oh, welcome, glad to see you're now on. How are you liking Hive so far in your first couple months here?" I'm like, "Well, funny story. I have posts dating back from 2016 that are on Hive blockchain because they're um they're from the Steam days. So I've been in this thing for a long time. I remember always looking for something very much like what InLeo is today, looking for some sort of an intuitive X style clone that does actually more and is permissionless and all that other kind of cool stuff. And so obviously when I found InLeo, I thought that this was something that was really cool. As soon as I saw some kind of involvement with the Leo team and the Maya protocol, which by the way, for those who are watching, I got my Maya protocol shirt on today for a reason. Uh, I knew exactly how this could work out instantly. And now I think in my opinion, not just saying this because you all are here, but I think that this worked out better and the integration is better and it came together faster than I could have hoped for. So I'm just really excited about this whole thing.
Yeah, I am as well, and the integration was, a lot different. I think the rollout of it has just been a lot different than we expected and kind of talked about originally. But I do agree that the way we kind of got here was, significantly different, but ultimately better. So, if you guys are watching this, last night we pushed the upgrade live to INLEO. So now you can sign up and log in with Keystore. And then you'll also, if you do that, it defaults your theme to the new Dash theme. So when you're on that theme, it'll show you payouts in Dash. And it also has, a Dash, the Dash colors on INLEO. So when when you sign up through Keystore, it kind of takes you through a whole new onboarding flow, which we can get into. And I just think it's really exciting in terms of making it feel a lot more like Web 2 social media, but then obviously have all the benefits of Web 3. My famous tagline going back to the beginning of InLEO was I wanted to build, Web 2 on the front end and Web 3 on the back end. So, my goal has always been make it as easy to use as possible, for the average person, but then obviously have, the benefits of immutability and your content being on the blockchain and tokenized rewards. Um, Joel gave me a great line when we were in Croatia, which was Web 2 in the streets, Web 3 in the sheets. So I definitely love that line, and definitely ties into the overall mission of INLEO, which is just make it stupid easy, make it really fun to use, and not much different than traditional social media. But then obviously have all those Web 3 features kind of running in the background, allowing people to earn crypto and obviously be censorship resistant by being on chain. So we've put it all on chain, um, at all layers. So the new Keystore integration is now live, and I've been encouraging everybody to test it out and give us feedback. Obviously, with integrations like this, there's going to be bugs, and it's the still kind of the early days of it. I was talking with the devs yesterday though that this has been one of our smoothest integrations. So very bug free so far. Haven't really run into too many issues. We spent a pretty good amount of time testing this stuff, before pushing it live. So I'm happy with how it's all working right now. Um, and I'm just excited for all of you guys to check it out. I'm excited for the Dash ecosystem to check out INLEO and see how they like the platform and welcome them with open arms.
Yeah, for sure. And the Web 2 for the streets, Web 3 for the sheets kind of uh attitude I think is really what's going to push crypto to the next level as a whole. One thing I've noticed is I actually had a debate or a conversation on X not too long ago with Madison, who works for the Edge wallet, as we're talking about the whole like Web 2 versus Web 3 kind of dichotomy. And first off, I would just say we say that stuff for convenience sake, right? But I would say at the root of it, um, it's not Web 2 that we're trying to emulate on the outside. It's a good user experience, which because Web 2 has real users and not just crazy passionate blockchain enthusiasts, they've achieved that first. But there's a lot of crap that's associated with Web 2 that I'm really glad we don't have, such as like minimum thresholds for earning, such as ID verification, just random demonetization, and phone number verification, ID verification to even use, just all this kind of, and also just not owning your data. So if you get censored, like everything you've built goes to crap. Whereas with the whole Web 3 world now, uh, everything is so much better, and you can see that in the user experience. One thing that I have noticed with crypto that I've been using uh, crypto for like 11 years straight now in some way, shape, or form using the blockchains and stuff. Um, Even when stuff is bumpy, you could just do what you want. That's what I love about it, is you just do what you want. Whereas in the legacy world, there's so many gates, so much gatekeeping, so many tolls you have to go through before you get to the next level. Or, well, let's do this, see if you're approved for that, sign up for this. There's all these like things in the way. Whereas when you have crypto in a crypto wallet or whatever, you can just do what you want. You just straight on. And I think that that's the cool thing about this sign up for Keystore thing, especially, is it's not like, well, are you part of one of our pre-approved partners? Have our team verified you? Like all this stuff that gets in the way of adoption. You just get to say, oh, I have a crypto wallet. I'm logging in, and there you go. It's just that simple. And I think that that's something that's really kind of powerful to people that you don't really, someone who's never used crypto before will think, oh, this is a quirky way of signing up. But if you do use crypto in a few different ways, and you realize that you don't have to go through those annoying Web 2 kind of barriers, I think that that's where it really becomes like the best of both worlds.
Yeah. Yeah. And Mitch, you have spent a lot of time with normies and getting them into the space. Um, and also with getting them onto InLeo and Hive and platforms like it. So, what have been kind of some of the big things you've seen and do you think, the integration in this way, kind of solves some of those barriers to entry for the average crypto person?
I mean, that's been an
I think
experience.
you're muted on X
Oh,
space.
I always forget to unmute on spaces. The mute on mute dance. To prevent the clickety clacks. Yeah, obviously, I've definitely had some fun onboarding normies that knew nothing about crypto, and taking them from zero crypto to something like INLEO was an adventure. Um, the way things are set up now is going to make it much easier. I think the options have, continually to improve since, because we're going back to what, like 2020 when I was doing a ton of that. So the state of that now is 10 times better. And I also think that focusing on warm audiences is smart. So, for instance, the Dash community is a community that already understands crypto, right? So, getting them involved with INLEO is such a what's the word I'm looking for? Synergy is not the word, but it makes sense. So, I'd like to see more of that personally. Um, yes, onboarding normies is something that we need to continue to do. But there's so many crypto heads out there already that, don't know what INLEO is and haven't experienced it. And I mean, I guess the same could be even said for Dash. There's crypto users out there that aren't familiar with Dash, or maybe they just heard of the coin, right? Um, I'm a prime example. Like I've known of Dash for years, but I couldn't tell you anything about Dash outside of it's a coin that I thought was a privacy coin back in the day, and that's about where my knowledge starts and ends, right? So, case in point. But yeah, at the end of the day, just my thing is keep doing what you're doing, right? Because it's going the right direction.
Yeah, it's been a really interesting couple of years. Obviously, we've been building in Leo since 2019. So, over the years we've kind of evolved and reached a lot of different points, and also pivoted in many ways. Um, when the platform started, it was all long form content. And then, it didn't take very long for me to realize that short form content is, obviously the future of social media. I don't think that was like a secret, but it was more so nobody really knew how to do it at scale, in the blockchain space. So it was just difficult for people to think about and implement something that could actually, have microblogging at scale where, someone could come in, sign up and make 1,000, threads is what we call them, but microblogs per day, without any limitations and without having to buy gas and, do all these things. Like there were so many people that have tried to do things on Ethereum and other blockchains, and it just didn't work. So, with Hive, we had the unique ability to, put all this data on the blockchain. And if you guys, saw my speech in Croatia or anywhere else I've given a talk, the kind of, the theme of most of my conversations when it comes to INLEO is, put everything on chain. So my goal with a platform like INLEO is get everything onto the blockchain, that we possibly can. So when it comes to anything on INLEO, like the referral system, the microblogging, the long form posts, shorts, communities, really everything on the platform, premium and payment rails. It's all about putting it on chain and putting as much of that data on chain as possible. So that opens us up to a lot of features and a lot of layers that can be built. So, I see Ahmad Manga and some other people in the audience that have built apps and automated features on top of what INLEO already has. And there's some really cool stuff being built by the community. And one of the big reasons we can do that is because everything's on chain. So they don't need my permission to go out and build things. They can just pull the data directly from Hive, directly from the blockchain, and use that data, with whatever app they want to build. So, doing an integration like Dash, I think is kind of, we had a lot of really important stars aligned to get us to this point. And Joel mentioned the, Leo Dex and our work with Maya. So, if you go back earlier this year, we started talking to the Maya team and trying to figure out, how can we get Leo accessible to this cross-chain DEX ecosystem. Many of you know that I invested in Thorchain in the very early days, before they even had a product. So the cross-chain DEX ecosystem was always something that was, very interesting to me, and I always looked at it as the future of crypto. And that became even more solidified with things like FTX that obviously gave us even more of a need for decentralized exchanges. Um, so Maya came out and then evolved, and around their 1 year anniversary is when we started figuring out how to integrate Leo into Maya. So then we launched Leo Dex, which is an interface for Maya. We launched Leo on Arbitrum, which is now listed on Maya. And then having built all those rails and then the Hive aggregation technology, that's what kind of led us to being at the point we are now, which is we can do payments in Dash. We can do, trades with Dash. We can, allow people to buy premium with Dash. And then we can also have earning in Dash. None of that would be possible without the Maya rails in place. So, between that and then obviously building the microblogging into INLEO and, our work with Keystore as well. All of these kind of random stars that didn't really make much sense just kind of aligned to allow us to make this integration possible and make it, seamless and easy. So if you've, tried it or seen it, you literally go to the sign up page now. The number one, the top sign up option is now Keystore, and it says recommended or best next to it. And if you hover over it, it'll give you a little explanation of what Keystore is. Um, and you click on it and it just takes you through like this 4-step onboarding flow where you either download a new key store or you can use an existing key store that you already have. You create an account. It uses the seed phrase to actually create a Hive account for you and generate your Hive keys and then save those keys as well. So you literally just save one file, which is the key store file, and now you have your Hive account, you have a Dash wallet, you have a Bitcoin wallet, you have an Ethereum wallet, you have a Cacao wallet, you have a Rune wallet. You have all these wallets wrapped into one key store, and then now you can use that key store to sign up and sign into INLEO in the future. And then when you do that, you can choose which crypto to earn, and obviously right now that's Dash. So it defaults to Dash, and then when you earn the minimum threshold in rewards, you can then the claim button in the dashboard will light up, and you can click it, and then it claims your rewards as Dash in the connected Dash wallet of your key store. So if you whether you use an existing key store or a new one, it's whatever Dash wallet is in that key store. That's where your rewards will get sent.
Yeah, I mean, this is a pretty incredible thing on the whole. Um, Before we get into too much nitty-gritty on the details and how it works and some questions, because actually, believe it or not, despite being like knee deep in Leo for a couple of months and also testing out all this stuff, I do actually have some questions myself. But uh, I kind of want to give like the broader perspective of my roughly like 12 years paying attention to crypto here is we have something really amazing on our hands in terms of this technology. And I think one of the reasons why crypto has kind of objectively been a little bit of a shit show has been because this is like the birth of something very new. It's kind of like the early days of the internet, except sort of on steroids in that case, where like people did not know what they were going to do with the internet and they posted random things. And then the early internet humor and, flash animations and all that was just like, very unique things. And just like the streamer culture, no one can even imagine that existing from like the legacy TV era. But so for the longest time, so many crypto projects have built so much innovation and for nobody, kind of, for speculative investors, for people to say, oh, I like that tech. I'm going to throw money and they're going to make it big. And then at the end of the day, they sort of putter, a lot of these projects sort of putter around and don't find their product market fit. And they build cool technology, but everyone's so heads down on their own communities, they don't really make anything work. And usually what you have is you have the cross-chain world before really, I would say Thorchain, had it was kind of like the shallowest of everything because it's like, okay, you have an exchange or an app that supports very bare bones of every single blockchain it supports, or an exchange that lets you just buy and gamble on any kind of crap coins that you want. But like the alpha is always deep in the communities. But then deep in the communities, you're alone. And so we're trying to get like a single, and that's why I think you have like maximalists and stuff too, a lot of times, because you need network effects to build something worthwhile. And I think that this represents the first thing of a new age where you get to sort of combine the best of both worlds. So, first of all, Hive, right? Hive is a great project. It's a great platform that allows people to build all kinds of different interfaces and things like that for social interaction and earnings and all this kind of stuff. Um, since the Steam split, for various other reasons, it hasn't really had the same public traction as as maybe Steam had back in the day, but also Steam might have been on a decline. Again, I don't know. I don't remember super well from there. But, Hive soldiering on, building good stuff, still working. And I have to admit, when Starkers reached out to me originally and said, "Hey, you should come and speak at Hive Fest. We'd love to have you." Uh, I was always like, "Sure, let's go." And then I thought, at the same time, I was like, is this going to be worth my time other than just a fun vacation? Because I'm like, well, I know they built cool things on Hive, but like, is kind of a legacy chain? And I'm sure my attitude is the same. My thought process, I should say, did not have this attitude. I had this thought process was the same of a lot of people who like, oh, I haven't heard Dash in a while. Are they still doing stuff? Like that kind of vibe. And I just thought, well, you know what? If they're reaching out to me, and they want to be aligned, then they must have something cool going on. So of course I'm going to go. So, but basically, the Hive ecosystem, doing its thing, trying to build, trying to do new things. The cool thing is the downside of the Hive ecosystem, just like any crypto project, is they're building products for their own community. And at some point, it's hard to grow the community by just getting more believers, more people to get in and care about Hive and the token system and all the other stuff. It's you can do it, of course. It's just harder. And now we have a chance where like Dash is the first one of these. And I have to say, as much as I'd love to keep all the goodness for the Dash community, just for us, there should be quite a few more integrations like this in the future because now you have another group of people that now get kind of airdropped almost like for free this new awesome site and experience that's sort of built on Dash. I mean, the infra is like on Hive, but as far as you could sign in with Dash, you get payouts with Dash. So, and you don't have to see the other tokens if you don't want to. Now you got your Dash native social media network, but it's not just populated by the same four people you bump into on Discord or whatever. It's populated by whoever joins, but also a whole group of Hivians who are already there. So now you bootstrap that community too. And now when you start adding more communities, now all of a sudden the network effects grow. You get your own coin's native experience sort of thing, but then everyone kind of shares in this big thing. So to sort of wrap up that thought on the general kind of concept, so many blockchains have built so many cool things. I don't think any blockchain quite yet can do everything the best, or at the very least, I don't think that they have built it out yet. They've built out the protocol functionality, or definitely not the apps and infrastructure kind of functionality. And so, in order to get the most out of crypto, as I have tried, you kind of have to be almost like a serial shitcoiner. Like you almost have to have all these random tokens and projects be everywhere just to kind of piece together an experience that is holistic. Now we finally have an opportunity where you get to sort of just deal with one smooth experience. You get your Keystore wallet, and let's just start out with the Dash example. You have your Dash wallet. You could put your Dash wallet seed phrase in to create a Keystore and just log in with your Dash wallet, receive Dash payments, and tap into all this stuff that like Hive has pre-built basically. And it's kind of the first in this era of for lack of a better term, sort of Frankensteining together a Web 2 seeming, like a end user facing actually works experience that doesn't look Frankensteiny at all to the end user. It uses several different chains backend. It uses, obviously Dash, uses the Maya protocol, uses Arbitrum for Leo, uses Hive. And so it's like a four chain at least, it's like a four chain process right here. And then if you start adding like say a Bitcoin Cash interface, that would be five because you have Thorchain too. So even though it's like a combination of all these chains, it's still like a smooth experience, and you're benefiting from all the different elements that each community is built out. Like, and that's something that I think this is one of those first, in my opinion, this is how the mass adoption of cryptocurrencies is going to take place through end user apps that just work, that will be leveraging quite a few, maybe just one or two, but maybe many more blockchain protocols under the hood. And it's this combination of a smooth kind of single experience, but with so many different projects under the hood. So that was kind of a long ramble, but that's just kind of what I've been thinking of all day while I've been injecting caffeine into my veins repeatedly.
Yeah, I've seen the espressos going down. And I've been doing the same as well. Uh yeah, I've been a long time believer in this idea that there, like you said, there's so many different use cases and so many different reasons for all these different chains and coins to exist. And a big problem in this space has been, that you need to, learn seven different wallets and, 10 different UIs, in order to just do the simple things that you want to do. Um, whether it's, earning crypto, swapping crypto, or spending crypto, you've had to really use all these different tools and learn them. And many of these tools have very little similarities. So you're like you're becoming a beginner over and over and over again, which is a great thing for learning. But, when it comes to just usability and the average person, that's not what they're looking for at the end of the day. They just want to have a seamless experience and get what they want when they want it, with convenience and speed. So, I've been a big believer in, all of these, and I think you had a good point that like no one blockchain or one app or, anything like that is going to have everything. Like at the end of the day, it's going to require a connection of all these things. So, when we went out and built Leo decks and then obviously now have these dash rails in place, the entire goal is like, okay, we've built a really good, kind of center hub for things. But now we need to kind of connect those out, and have the connections that make sense in terms of adding features, for the average person, but adding them in a way that's really easy to use and can still be done in kind of one seamless UI. So, having a Dash user be able to come in and, likely be familiar with Keystore, or at least, adjacently familiar with it, and be able to sign up and sign in, instantly using that, and then just start using the platform. Like, I actually saw, a conversation, on X where, they were talking about INLEO. Actually, it was underneath one of the Dash tweets. I don't remember who was going back and forth, but they were saying, "Oh, I thought this was Twitter," from the screenshot. They didn't know.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah, yeah, I think you saw that too. So they literally just thought it was Twitter. They had no idea this was they thought it was just like a skin on top of Twitter. But it's not. It's INLEO is a platform built from scratch, but we built it in a way where it almost is meant to kind of be like a skin for Twitter in a certain sense, where if you don't dive deeper, it really just looks like Twitter, and the experience is so familiar that you could get in there and just use it. Like I think for a person that comes in that has ever used Twitter, and obviously now it's X, they can join INLEO and start using it and just literally know how everything works, from a, front end experience. Like they're just like, okay, here's my homepage, here's the feeds, a thread is like doing a tweet and then I just post it. And all these things just kind of seamlessly work, in an experience that you're familiar with. But then when you dive deeper and you get into the back end of things, you realize, okay, well, there's crypto being earned here, and my content is being posted on a blockchain, and it's visible in other places on other UIs, and it's, I can go to the Block Explorer and I can see all these things. And then I can check my wallet, every couple days, and I see that there's money being accrued in there. So, all of these things are just kind of, like I said, 5 years of really just stacking, layer after layer to get to where we are today um, in terms of usability and features. So I'm just really happy with how that's progressed.
Cal, do you realize, I think you said probably one of the greatest things in terms of that occurrence with normies and INLEO basically just looking like a skin of X and people thinking like, is this just like it's almost like you white labeled X. That's huge, um, especially when it comes to normies, because touching back to what both you guys essentially said, you talk about crypto and its overall ecosystem and how, there's so many different wallets and so many different blockchains. And, um, the plus side is even if you're in the crypto kind of know, you still have to continually learn things. But that's also a downside as well because people get burnt out, people get tired of that. And for normies, especially, they don't want to come in and have to learn seven different things, right? Like as much as monopoly is not a good thing, at the same time, one wallet to rule them all, sadly would be a good thing for the overall mainstream adoption of crypto. Now, is that a good thing on a whole? Probably not. But in terms of just the mainstream adoption, upfront, 100%, because it comes down to ease of use and being able to essentially just point and click. One user experience takes care of anything you could possibly want to do. Is that ever going to be the case in crypto? Maybe. I'm guessing probably not. Um, but as far as INLEO goes, the fact that people can go to it and it feels familiar and it um, gives that experience, so to speak, of something they already know um, is important, and I think greases the wheel for user adoption. So that probably is one of the coolest things I've actually heard you share in terms of an experience when it comes to INLEO.
Yeah, and the key store is really meant to be that. It is kind of like, obviously you're going to have other apps and wallets that are really important, but I think one thing I'm really excited about when it comes to key store on INLEO is that it is so easy to use. It's very secure. It's a file that's stored locally on your device, and then you decrypt it using a password that you set, and INLEO doesn't store any of that information. So it's highly secure, very easy to use, basically just gives you one password to log into all of those accounts. And you can use it across other applications. So, to actually start getting into some of the details a little bit more. So you sign up, you log in, right? You're using a key store. So after you do all that, you either already have a key store or you just made a new one. It's now a file on your device. And you go to, when you're on InLeo, you're obviously using that. If you were to then go to something like LeoDex or say AsgardX or, Thor Swap or, any of these other UIs, on Maya or Thorchain, where Keystore is available, you can actually use that key store from INLEO on all of those platforms. So, you can literally go to LeoDex or any of these other swap UIs, and you can log in with that same key store and password, and then you can trade. So you can do, obviously anything you want. It's just a normal key store. So I think that's a little underappreciated as well. So like now our target audience, and obviously this integration's, heavily focused on Dash and getting the Dash community onboarded and earning across the Dash payment rails. But our target audience really has just expanded to everyone that also has a key store. So if and I mean I haven't seen any numbers on how many people have a key store, but I would assume quite a lot of people that are deep in the crypto space. Um, so we've now expanded that target audience very heavily. And being that we've had, JP Thor on the podcast before and we've got ties with Thorchain, we've got ties obviously with Maya as well. I think that all of this stuff is just such a seamless experience in terms of now signing up and getting active on the platform. So, you know, I think there's a few kind of really key things that need to get solved for next. And Joel, I'd love for you to chime in as well. When a Dash user now comes in, signs up with Keystore, they get into INLEO, right? Like they can now make threads and they can, interact with people. What is going to be our next step in terms of, how do we keep them around? How do we get them excited to be active and engaged on the platform, as a team and as a community?
Yeah, I think the next, first of all, the next step is instantly start promoting this thing, start selling. Like now we're like, hey, guess what we've done? Press release going out. Then we get ads going out. Then we email newsletter, all that kind of stuff. Get this thing actually wide because now we have a product that will work for a lot more people than it used to. And it's, for example, as I mentioned with like the network effect kind of thing, it's one of those things where um, we have like the ultimate digital cash so far in the form of Dash, and we're like, oh, everyone, you should use this, and it's still like once you get people using it, they love it. But the challenge is how do you get someone? You got to go the fiat route, buy from Coinbase, something like that, and then eventually they forget to just keep buying, so they can then sell, and then then spend, and then eat up a little bit of transaction fee or whatever, and complicate their taxes or whatever. It's not super strong from that perspective. And then you got on the other side. Um, the Hive ecosystem, which is a great way for people to actually get involved as users and start earning. And then it's like, then what do you do with it after that? And I know that, for example, Distrader has done a great job of like really trying to hype up the actual spending of the Hive in the world. If I was restricted to just using the Hive blockchain to spend on daily goods and services, I don't know if I could make it work entirely. I think I'd have to like diversify into fiat or other coins or whatever. But then you just plug these two together, and all of a sudden you have something that's very valuable that you can just say, hey, guess what? Use this thing, and then you can just exit the financial system. If you're a content creator of any kind, now you're out. You're out of fiat with INLEO, right? Because you got INLEO with Dash. Now you can just get your wallet, start earning, get real money, spend it, and that's it. You just close your bank, you're done. And now not everyone's a content creator, but it's a big plank of that. So user growth is the number one thing. The other thing is like depth of integration, because obviously in Leo you want people to start building actual, not just casually posts, but start building like premium subscriptions, start doing things like that where they're actually kind of building a future and investing in this thing, and actually start to provide liquidity for Dash on Maya, let's say like the Leo token, like a bunch of other kinds of things like that. It's like now you have other things you want to start to be doing to deepen it. From the Dash side, it is pretty interesting though, because this is something, and I'm going to have to write an article about this because I have some experimentation left to do. But in from my understanding, you go to INLEO, you create, like, let's just say you're a zero, a crypto zero, you don't know anything. You go to, inleo.io/sign up. You click the Keystore thing, you get your Keystore wallet, you save you know, your recovery phrase, get your username, and you're ready to go. Then you go to the Dash wallet, plug that exact same seed phrase into it, and then use the Dash you earned to register a Dash username, which is also functions as a stealth address for extra privacy on the Dash wallet. So now you have a Dash username that would match your INLEO username. And now you can not only just spend it, but now you could start friending other people in the Dash world. So now that kind of is a pipeline to a whole other ecosystem of peer-to-peer cash in that way. And it's not, I don't think it's built into the wallet quite yet, but I can't wait until it is. There are some uh, more technical workarounds where you can import that same phrase into a more advanced Dash wallet and then start stacking usernames, where now you register a whole bunch of different usernames. So, like for example, let's just say you want to register InLeo, you want to register LeoDex, you want to register Cal or CalCas, and you want to start doing, you know, what is it like the entire your full name and everything. You want to start doing other things, and it's all tied to the exact same account. And so now it's not so much, hey, if you want to send me some money, which is always you want to get that one right, right? You don't want to. That's one thing. That's if you follow the wrong person on X, that's one thing. But if you want to send someone money and make a connection, do that. You do want to get that one right. So now, if say someone's like, oh, what's his exact username again? I forget. Is it CalCaz1? Is it CalCaz with an underscore? Is it just Cal? Like, what is it? And if they look you up on any number of your common names now, they can just friend the exact same profile and then it just works. And so you can just say, here, follow look me up on INLEO, you're kind of the obvious profile. And if you want to friend and hang out, whatever. But then it's like, oh no, send me some dash. Okay, how do I get it to you? Yeah, just look me up. I'm on, 5 different common usernames you friend, and then you go. You start to get all these things together. Now it's like someone has this incredible value add in this, decentralized Venmo style experience. Then when Dash gets stable coins on it as well, now that pipeline goes down as well. And then you start having all these spending tools built right into the Dash wallet. Now you don't even need any education to be like, how do I pay for my bills? How do I spend on everyday things? Oh, there's a merchant map right in the Dash wallet that I get from that. And the whole thing just keeps on going. And then obviously you start the peer-to-peer economy. If you started, let's just say, a public marketplace or a listing or something on INLEO, now you already know that everyone who's there at least has some connection to Dash, so you can have a common currency there, and then it just grows from there. Now, in the future, like I know we said that like let's talk about this in the new year. Let's just let's focus on growth of what we got. But there's a lot of other cool stuff you could do, such as find a way for InLeo to automatically detect your Dash usernames and then for display them under your profile. So let's just say I'm the dessert Linux on InLeo because I lost my other one, and it just says in the Dash one says the desert links and then whatever other Dash names are under it. And then you could peer-to-peer send Dash just to people. So in case you want to upvote someone really hard, but the upvote button, there's only so much high power or whatever you got, or you want to tip them on top of that, you can just send it to them. That would be a very cool integration. And I think you could build out in a way where a portion of Leo to Leo Dash transactions could go to in Leo. So it's actually like a flywheel effect that profits that. That could be cool. And another one, this goes to like the whole plugging everything in together. Someone already built a fully functioning encrypted messenger based on the Signal protocol in Dash on the Dash Evolution platform, and it's working. It's just like the actual building it into a front end, the apps and all that stuff just hasn't been done yet. But then it's like, okay, well now guess what? We can plug in for just Dash users, let's just say, an encrypted messaging protocol. So now it's like Twitter, like XDMs or whatever, but fully and then encrypted using your Dash keys, writing to Dash Evolution blockchain for all these encrypted messages that then no one can see. And it's like, okay, well, now that's like a value add for just Dash users, maybe. Or because, again, we're dealing with all these different blockchains, you could have like a Litecoin user with a Litecoin theme still have there because Litecoin doesn't have that same functionality built into their protocol. Now they're starting to do encrypted DMs on the Dash blockchain. They don't even know because Leo Dex swaps over automatically enough Dash for the gas fees, and it just works like that. And because the Keystore wallet that they log into supports all the different coins, so they'll have some balances of other things as well. And it just all works together, and then we start building kind of the ultimate social media experience for everyone, connecting to as many different blockchains as we need. And yeah, I think that's an ambitious vision, but not that hard to do. Like not that far out of reach, I don't think. And that's the really cool part. I think we could get this done. Like, I don't know, Q2 2024 or 2025, let's say. Just the possibilities are endless.
Yeah, and I think when you look at this stuff in a vacuum, it might seem, really daunting to get to that kind of, long-term ambitious vision. But the real key is, just taking it one piece and one step at a time. So I mean, you go back, like I said, a couple of years ago, and I mean, like and there's a lot of people in the audience who have been here, since the beginning of INLEO. So, go back, 3, 4, 5 years ago, and then, try to explain to your older self, what we would be doing today in terms of, having Dash integrated, having, a Keystore wallet integration, having, automatic payment rails, built, allowing cross-chain payments directly on the platform and cross-chain payouts as well. And I think you would think that that's crazy. That's a crazy vision, and it's too hard to do. There's way too many things that need to line up to make that happen. But over the years, just kind of culminating all these things together, now you have essentially an ecosystem that we've built out around the Leo token that allows all this to be possible. The Hive aggregation swaps, that allow, trading directly with Dash and payments with Dash, that all came about because, we built, years ago, we built Oracle, technology that allows Leo to be on other blockchains like Arbitrum. And then that integration allowed us to then put, Leo on Maya, and then, building Leo Dex and the Hive aggregator allowed us to then, be traded, with Dash, because Dash is also on Maya. So it's just so many things that had to line up to really make this possible. And I think that anything is, possible going forward. It's really just about, having that end kind of vision in mind and then just taking it one piece at a time and adding things. So, today we're launching, the ability to sign up, with Keystore and have a Dash wallet connected, and then, earn in Dash, and pay for premium and other things in Dash. And then, I think a good next step for us is to add, tipping in Dash. So the ability to tip other users like Joel has mentioned, using Dash. And yeah, I mean, connecting something like the Dash names, and I would just have to dive into, how that works on a technical front, but I'm sure it's not too hard to just figure out an API for the Dash names and then connect them to Dash, wallet addresses. So, something like that's definitely possible as well. So yeah, I mean, I think Joel kind of hit the nail on the head as well, that the key here is just getting more users. Users are the lifeblood of this platform. So, I've seen people ask, well, won't earning in Dash be a negative for the Leo token? So the quick TLDR, because I know there's a lot of Dash people listening as well who wouldn't be familiar with it, but the way that payouts work on INLEO is the more Leo power you have staked. So the Leo token, you obviously just power it up and stake it. That drives the value of upvotes on the platform. So when you have more Leo staked, you upvote other users and they earn more Leo. So it's proof of stake voting. And a lot of people have asked, well, if I upvote, a lot of people who are choosing to earn in Dash, that means that the Leo they earn is being converted into Dash. Isn't that a net negative for the ecosystem? And I think that if you look at it in a vacuum, if you look at just that piece, then yeah, it might seem like a net negative. But when you look at it as a whole, so consider that users are the lifeblood of this platform. If there were no users on INLEO, there'd be no reason to be here. So it's very network effect based. So consider that they're the lifeblood of the platform, and you realize that just getting more users on its own is extremely valuable. And then also tie in that to go premium and to pay for creator subscriptions, and eventually with the new Leo ads integration, you'll be able to buy ads using Dash as well. So consider all these three different products essentially that are available on INLEO. When someone buys that with Dash, it converts it into Leo. So now you've got a two-sided conversion process. So, when people are getting paid out in Dash, obviously that's a Leo to Dash conversion. But then when people are buying stuff with Dash, it's a Dash to Leo conversion. So the key to any economy is having two sides, that can flow seamlessly together. So, don't look at it as a vacuum, look at the whole picture. So, INLEO is not an ecosystem where we're trying to get people to earn Leo and then hold them in the token and say, you can never sell this token. That's never going to work in the long run. The real thing that's going to work is, build the payment rails, make it really easy to go in and out of Leo, in and out of Dash. You want to be able to use these currencies because that's what they are. And if you can use them easily, then people will be more likely to hold them. No one wants to hold something that they feel locked into at the end of the day. So, build the payment rails, allow people to just seamlessly move across them, and then onboard as many users as possible. And the entire value proposition of Leo as a token is to, monetize attention. So look at any social media platform out there, whether it's X or Facebook or whatever, the way that they built, multi-billion dollar ecosystems, is through users' attention, user-generated content. It's not through people buying their token because they never even had one, and just holding it. So the attention and the user-generated content is the value proposition of Leo. So when people are earning the Leo token, we are, as a platform, essentially paying them to make user-generated content and engage on the platform and be active. And then we need to figure out our own ways of monetizing that. And that's where, premium comes in. That's where Leo ads comes in. That's where creator subscriptions come in. So, we've got all these monetization rails. So now, the key piece that we've been missing is users. And again, I mentioned this at the beginning, and I know Joel might have to jump off because he's got another podcast coming up. But the exciting thing for me is that Dash has this huge user base and has this brand recognition, and INLEO has built, all these, technical rails. And now we're just kind of merging the two and giving the best of both worlds.
Yeah, I do have to jump off, but we'll be right before then. A couple quick questions, which I hope are not too hard to answer. So first of all, uh, how can you, if you already are an InLeo user, right? You already have use it through, say, Keychain or something like that. Can you access the Dash theme in some way? I noticed in the settings you can click the button and it changes the colors, but does that access the Dash payouts at all, or do you have to do something different?
Yeah, so the payout, so if you're an existing user, we haven't added the ability to essentially reverse add a Keystore wallet and tie it to your Hive account, because existing InLeo users are obviously basically Hive account holders, or they're using like the X or Google integrations that we've built. So I would say a big next step for us probably sometime in December will be the ability to tie a Keystore to your existing Hive wallet. So eventually the reverse engineered process of what we just launched, which is the sign up with Keystore, it'll be like connect with Keystore. Um, so once that's in place, then in the settings page, you will be able to choose something like an earn and dash, um, optionality.
Okay, and the last quick thing. So first of all, is there a way to once you create a key store, you're supposed to sign up with you're supposed to put down a recovery phrase. Is there any way if you didn't do that, but you still have your key store and all the access to it, to then re-extrapolate the key phrase, the seed phrase from that? I know it's got to be possible. I just don't know if it's possible in Leo decks or in Leo. And the other kind of side question to that, I can't even remember right now. Let's just stop at that. I'll ask another one, and then these other spaces go in, so I will have to jump off in
Oh
a
yeah.
second.
Yeah, no worries. So just to give the quick rundown of that, there is a way to restore a key store. So I know that that's, possible on other UIs, especially in the Maya ecosystem. So yeah, we haven't built a framework for restoring a key store if you didn't, download the seed phrase. But that's something that's, relatively easy to add because it, obviously already exists on other UIs. So we'll either add that to InLeo directly or to Leo Dex. So if you, obviously got your key store, but then just didn't save the, recovery phrase, or the seed phrase, I think we would be able to allow you to recover it. Um,
Yeah, I think the other one I'm thinking about it is when you sign up, you could create a new key store or use an existing key store. It would be really nice if there was an option to create a new key store from an existing seed phrase. Like I know Thor Wallet's interface has that. And in
mm.
the announcement, I linked to Thor Wallet if people want to go that route, if they want to do that before jumping into InLeo. But that would really help to just have it all right in there.
Yeah, yeah, I think I can look at how to do that. I don't think it'd be that hard. Um, if you have if you have a seed phrase and you basically want to just derive a new key store file from it, yeah, I don't think that would be that hard to integrate. Um,
Cool. Well, I'm going to
so
jump off now and not leave these people waiting. Thanks so much
absolutely.
for having me. It's
Thanks,
been
Joel.
cool. Yeah, everyone sign up for INLEO and get your dash payouts. Make sure to do it. Bye bye.
See you, Joel. Thanks for coming on, and we'll be chatting a lot in the coming, obviously today and the coming days. But appreciate you coming on, and Mitch and I will stick around and answer a few more questions. But enjoy your next podcast. All right, sweet. So, Mitch, if you just wanna, we can just stick around for a little bit longer. I know we've been going for an hour.
Yeah, I've been watching comments and
Just Oh, I think you're
you
muted
know,
on the space.
oh,
But we'll just answer a few questions if you got some
always
time.
forget that. Yeah, no, I saw, there's some comments I noticed that I wanted to touch on, and I was, listening to obviously a lot of what Joel was sharing, and also sadly multitasking, because real estate never sleeps. So I also definitely missed some of the stuff he was saying. But there was a comment I noticed, I forgot who said it now, but they just talked about like, in Leo and how kind of be awesome if it was like, the Web3 place for multiple coins, so to speak. And that would be cool. And it also made me think of something because I mean, at the end of the day, you know, at this point, most people listening know, enough about me. And the reality is like I'm a power user, right? I'm like a bridge, so to speak, in terms of like normies and crypto. Like I know way more than normies, but I know a fraction of what Cal knows because Cal's continually growing his crypto knowledge. Me, crypto's like my secondary thing. It's a slow, slow growth, so to speak. I should probably know way more than I actually do. But I also have that in perspective in terms of, how normies look at things and how even like, investors look at things. And there's one thing that constantly pops in my head when talking about everything from user experience to onboarding to different coins to all that. And it comes down to this fundamental principle that a confused mind says no. Like literally, if you drive everything just by that statement, you could have, a lot of success. And I learned this from a friend of mine who was formerly trained by Tony Robbins. Like he was one of Tony Robbins' speakers. Like he traveled the world, like speaking at the Tony Robbins events. And this is something when he does like his performance coaching and stuff like that for like business owners, it's often a theme. Like a confused mind says no. So that's what's so interesting about what you guys were speaking about in regards to just, crypto on a whole and the different chains and different coins and all that stuff, and the different wallets, right? Because that's the biggest problem, right? It confuses the shit out of people, especially normies. So that's always going to exist, right? And in Leo is going to have different options, in terms of sign up, in terms of coins you can earn in, and whatnot. But with all that said, I feel like you should always go back to that fundamental question of, all right, a confused mind says no. So how do I integrate this but make it as simple as possible? It's kind of always like that joke of, explain it to me like I was a fifth grader, right? I think it always fundamentally goes back to that. So, I don't know. It was just a theme I wanted to share because I think it's important when building out things to always focus on that and just realize that, because at the end of the day, right? And that line is mainly like sort of when it comes to like sales and marketing, but what is everything in life essentially, right? What is in Leo at the end of the day? Like you're selling people on joining in Leo. So yeah, and my manga just quoted it. A confused mind says no. Not my original quote, but something I've learned. And it's true in every aspect of life, whether you're talking about business, personal relationships. Hell, if you're a guy trying to pick up a girl, don't confuse her. Once she's game, shut your mouth. Um, but yeah, that was good stuff. And it's so cool to see the Dash community getting involved. And I'm looking forward to seeing other communities because, again, like I said, warm leads, right? People that are already familiar with crypto and people that are familiar with crypto and might not have any kind of Web3 social um, outlet or interaction, right? So that's a value add. Think about that, right? You're involved in crypto, but all you do is just like, go on like Telegram or Discord or whatever, and you're investing in a coin and blah blah blah. And then you're like, oh wait, hold on. There's a Twitter-like platform where I can interact with my community. and where I can, share. Um, I mean, heck, just stealing Discord users, right? At a fundamental basis, right? I love Discord, but I mean, essentially, moving communities from Discord to INLEO, right? That alone could be an initiative that creates a large user base, right? Think about the way Discord has blown up over the last, you know, 8 years, really, right? Really, it's blown up with crypto blowing up. And I know so many people never even heard of Discord 3, 4 years ago that now are on it all the time. So, and myself included, I never heard of Discord until I was involved in the Hive blockchain and then got introduced to it. So, anyway, that's my rant.
Yeah, no, I think the advice that you gave about, a confused mind is a good one and one that we need to really take to heart because, I do actually even see this on InLeo. We have been onboarding a lot of new users lately, and it's one thing I've seen is like a new user will come in and ask a question, and then I see someone jump in and reply, and that's obviously a really good thing. But I've seen people reply and say the answer to their question, and then they'll send them like 10 links of like
Nice.
like all sorts of things. And it's like you kind of need to like piecemeal people and like wait for them to ask a question and then, provide an answer and dive in if they're ready for it. But it can give, paralysis by analysis to a lot of people when they come to a platform like InLeo because there are so many layers to it. So, one thing I've been very heavily focused on over the years, and hopefully that's apparent when you use the UI is making it a layer-based approach. So like you join the platform and you're like, okay, this is like X, I can just use it. And then from there, you peel it back and you learn, oh wait, it's like X, but all my stuff is being stored on the blockchain. And it's like, oh wait, what are these payouts and where are they coming from? Now I'm learning about rewards pools. But if and my goal is, the end goal is, a new user comes in, they use all this stuff, and they don't need to peel back the layers unless they want to. So, if you just want to be a Dash user that comes in, sign up with Keystore and use Inleo, and then you cash out, you hit claim in the dashboard, when your Dash payments hit the threshold, um, you know, then you just hit claim and then you get Dash in your wallet. And you never needed to learn, how Leo works or how, Hive works on the back end and how your stuff is being stored on the blockchain. You can if you want to. It's probably good to learn, some at some level to learn that stuff, but you don't need to. Very similar to like the internet. We all use the internet and 99% of people in the world have no idea how the internet actually works. They just get a connection and they're like, oh, I'm connected, and then I use it, you know? So we
And
need
that
to
is
have a similar
so
approach.
important. 100%. It's no different than a light switch, right?
Right.
Everyone knows how to flip the light switch on and off. Do they know how to fucking wire it, right? Do they know how to, most people don't even know where their breaker box is, let alone how to wire the switch, right?
Yep.
Um, but Yeah, it's interesting. So thinking about like I was looking like at the comments. Who was it? I don't know. Someone mentioned about kind of like just clear tutorials, and I was thinking about that because people have created tutorials and I know those videos and whatnot, but it's all about them being easy to find. So are all those under at least like tutorial tag, so someone can just type into the tutorial tag and find all that, or does it make sense to add like a tutorial? Um, Link on like the left side toolbar, so someone just click that and it takes and the only thing in there is just tutorials, because having the information is great but being able to easily find it is more important, um, and then people can kind of go at their own pace because I agree with you with the overload of information, since there's so many layers, and that so like for instance I once saw a quote that I thought made a ton of sense and I think it can apply to teaching. So like it was talking about leadership and it said leadership is the ability to disappoint people in amounts that they can handle. And I thought that was like really, really enlightening because it's true. Like as a leader, you can't make everybody happy. People are going to be disappointed, but to keep, the entire project on the correct path, right? You're going to have to quote unquote disappoint people. Because you're not going to be able to do every single thing that people want to do. And sometimes you got to buckle down and just get things done. So I was thinking about that in regards to teaching, right? I think teaching is the ability to provide people information in amounts that they can handle. Because if you inundate them and overload them with so much information, so many options, right? That goes back to the confused mind says no.
Right.
So, yeah, it's awesome that people respond, and it's awesome that people give them 8,000 links, but that can also be overwhelming. But when you have a choose your own adventure, so like let's just say I see someone new and they're like, "Hey, how do I do X, Y, and Z?" I can respond and be like, um, "Yeah, that's easy to do," and maybe directly answer that question, and or just be like, you can find that answer here and drop, go to the tutorial tag or just, look on the left toolbar and click tutorials. And then those tutorials, should have correct labels. And then they can say, oh, okay, I want to do XYZ. Here's the tutorial for it. I click on it, I watch it. And then after they watch that or read that, then it's up to them, right? If they see anything else that catches their eyes that they want to explore further, right? I think that's a cleaner way because you're giving them the choose your own adventure, so to speak, as opposed to just sending them 20 different links. And at the end of the day, it's kind of the same thing, right? You're looking at a post with 10 links, right? Or you're looking at a web page with all these different links. But the um, the setting and the perspective is different, even though it's the same thing. It makes zero sense, but it's true. And that's just how the human mind works. So, yeah, I think it's always just tweaking user experience.
Yep. It is about tweaking the user experience and listening to the users that are there already and trying to take that feedback and figure out, how to improve everything. And on the point of tutorials there are going to be some tutorials on the way, both from the team and I hope from the community. So from you guys, I would love to see some tutorials get posted and be out there for the Dash people. So when they come in, they know how different things work. I think it'd be a good idea to really go back to the drawing board for pretty much all tutorials and give an update. I mean, there's so many things that are different now, and that's one of the things about tutorials and one thing that I think Taskmaster would appreciate, which is, have an owner mindset. So, as a team, we can continue to create tutorials, but things on the platform are always evolving and changing, and tutorials need to be updated pretty regularly. So, at the end of the day, I mean, the most efficient way for tutorials to get done on INLEO would be from you guys, from the community, because, obviously, you could have two team members, on the INLEO team making tutorials and updating them constantly, but that's, a full-time job in and of itself. It'd be much better to have our existing community of 2,000, monthly active users, making tutorials and giving different perspectives and, making the tutorials from different devices. Like, some of you guys are on Android, some are on iOS, some are on, Macs, some are on PCs, some are on iPads and tablets. And in different parts of the world and with different languages. I mean, like the amount of combinations and variants of users and tutorials and potential tutorials that can be created is just so large. It's way too much for a team to do. I think it's a community job for tutorials. So I think a lot of you guys can kind of step up and make these tutorials and be ready for Dash users. Make some tutorials about the Dash integrations and about how to sign up and use Keystore, but also make, tutorials about how the Leo rewards pool works or, Leo tokenomics or, how upvoting, works and why there's a percentage slider, when you upvote people, how bookmarks work, like how premium works. I mean, like there's literally so many different tutorials that could be made. And we're all, at the end of the day, being on INLEO, we're all content creators. So, if you're ever looking for content to create and content ideas, I mean, there's an endless pool of content that can be made in the form of tutorials about INLEO. So I think it's really a good time for you guys to step up and just really get out there and uh, and put all this content out there for the new users.
100%. And like I said, it's got to be easy to find though. I mean, even if it's just a tag that, a tutorial tag, right?
Yeah. And you guys can use
Um,
that tutorial tag. That's just use the tutorial tag and then they all get sorted into a, specific bucket.
because
You
then
can
at least you
also
can tell.
then, I mean, there's a lot, and it's like I said, I've continually said this, but we build the tools and then you guys use them. So figure out how to use them, in a really good way. And I'm not saying that we'll never add, a tutorial section to the UI. I think that will get added at some point. But I think, a big thing is like you could make a bunch of tutorials and then make a thread with the tutorials all linked in thread replies to one thread. And then now you've got one link you can send out to people and it has all the tutorials in one place. So you can organize that yourself. And people have done that with containers, Task, had the music containers, and he's done stuff like that as well. So there's plenty of creative ways that the community has figured out how to organize stuff. So you guys are definitely capable. The tools are there for you guys to do all those things. So
I and it's funny too because at the end of the day, right, there's always going to be roadblocks, and I'm getting a kick out of Brendan's comment. It said they usually say no when it comes time to write down the 12-word passphrase. And you know what? You're probably right. There's plenty of normies that are never going to do crypto just because they're going to see a 12-word passphrase and be like, "What in the?" Or they won't write it down and then just lose their crypto one day, and then they can be a
yeah.
story. They can be a news story. Um, I can't even pronounce certain people's usernames, but I appreciate that she said, "Don't forget to vote the cat." The cat needs to post more, but there's still enough out there to vote the cat. Cat doesn't
Um,
post like he used to. Oh, I will admit, I don't even listen. This is why we joke and say Task is a humanoid and at least half robot because the amount of content creation he's done for the amount of time, like I burnt out. I created it like he did back in the day. I did it for like 5 years, and then the last 2 or 3 years now, I don't have it in me anymore. Like I post casually when I randomly have things to say, but the daily content creation, kudos to him. I don't know how he's still doing it. I can't. I don't have it in me.
Yeah,
I guess,
it's tough. I used to be a lot
yeah.
more active. Now I have a good setup where, we obviously do these 3 podcasts a week, and the majority of my content is able to be pulled from clips and the full videos.
As it should be, a
Yeah,
hundred percent. Like,
that's like the
any
Gary
good.
V like document instead of create.
Exactly. And my buddy that has become like a full-time content creator, full-time podcaster. I mean, like his podcast, off that one podcast he does every week is all his content gets created from that. And, like dozens of pieces of content at least because he's, multiple posts per day because he's in traditional social media and you have to. Like if you're not posting like 3 times a day essentially to all the, you know, Web 2 socials, you have no shot at building an audience and capturing attention. So here in INLEO, it's a little easier. You can just post daily and you'll probably make some good headway.
Yep. Yeah, I've got some a few things from the audience just pulled up so we can just rapid fire them just because I have like 30 pulled up, but we don't need to do all of them.
Jeez.
Yeah, because I mean, while we had Joel here too, I was just kind of focused on
Yeah.
the conversation too.
Oh, yeah, do a rapid fire. We'll
Yeah.
do like 10 minutes or so.
All right, that sounds good. Miguel said the Keystore option is an amazing one, I must say, and it looks like you created your account through it. Yeah, it's just so easy. And I wanted to pull this up and say something too that, I was encouraging everyone last night, and then also I want to do the same today. Even though you guys, obviously, all you guys listening right now already have accounts and you're already using INLEO, go like log out and then hit the sign up button and look at, INLEO through fresh eyes, again. And click the sign up with Keystore option and try it. So even though you already have an account, I really think you should try signing up with Keystore, try, using threads and making a blog post even, and just like, look at the platform once again with fresh eyes through this new option, and then give us feedback on it. So, whether you run into bugs or you just have, feedback on the option and how it can be improved. I think it's really valuable. Like I said, we've got 2,000 users here already. If all 2,000 of you, came in and gave us feedback, think about how much better the whole platform could be. So, we still get a good amount of feedback. I think probably between like 20 and 40 feedback threads a day. But, like I said, with 2,000 users, I would expect even more feedback than that. So just keep that feedback rolling in and use the Keystore option, even though you're already here. And then let us know, how it can be improved or if you run into any issues, because we want those things ironed out, when people come in, we don't want them running into random issues right off the bat.
Mhm. Um, Sidebar, self-help for trolls. While Cal's doing questions, can you type a thread explaining more about what's going on with Three Speak? Just because I'm out of the know, so I'm curious. Anyway, continue.
Oh,
Next
okay,
question.
yeah. Well, the TLDR is that Three Speak has been down for I think close to 2 months now. So
Down.
yeah,
That sounds like pretty much decommissioned. 2 months.
yeah. I don't know what their status is right now. Hopefully they get back up soon, but that's why shorts and uploading videos on INLEO hasn't been working. I've been resisting the disabling the buttons on INLEO because I thought they would be back sooner. Um,
Yeah.
so I don't know. We'll see what happens. We may have to disable those buttons because I had a couple people from Dash already ask me why they couldn't upload videos. So
Yeah, it's
um,
kind of frustrating,
yeah, it is a little
especially for new
frustrating, but
users.
yeah.
Uh,
So we'll see.
Vic Van said in Leo with 2,000 users. Wow, is that right? Do we have 2,000 users?
Yeah, we hit a new all-time high last month. So hopefully we
Nice.
finish November closer to 3,000. That's kind of what I'm shooting for.
Shit, you're talking about a hell of a Thanksgiving weekend then.
Yeah, it will be. Well, we got Dash. I'm hoping to see a big explosion from Dash, and then obviously in December we've got a long ways to go because we need to hit 10,000 by the end of December. So 3,000 by the end of this month, and then I'm just looking for that J curve up.
Hockey stick.
Yep, exactly. The hockey stick and then get to 10,000 by the end of December. We've got so many irons in the fire right now between, meme communities getting onboarded, Dash, and then Maya. So you guys may have seen the Maya team created an INLEO account yesterday using Keystore and posted their first thread. So Joel's actually been really helpful on that front, getting the Maya team onboarded. Now that we've got Keystore, consider this pretty much 100% of the Maya ecosystem, all the Maya users use Keystore or have used it at some point. So they are all now our target audience and they can sign up and sign in, without anything new. So they don't even need to download, a new key store. They can literally use their existing one from all these other UIs. So what I'm working on right now is going to UIs like Asgard X and Cacao Swap and some of these other big Maya interfaces, and then asking them if we can do some kind of partnership and collaboration where INLEO can get advertised on their UI. And you can just click and then sign in with Keystore because you're already using those
That's
dexes
awesome.
with Keystore. Yeah, so that's going to be a huge campaign in December to look out for. And it's going to be sign up with Keystore, earn cacao. So very similar, obviously the same rails as the Dash stuff. But I keep reiterating this right now, heavily focused on just Dash. Everything is Dash right now. And I want to get the entire Dash community onboarded and earning in Dash. Like Joel said, they've really built the payment side of things in an extraordinary way. You can spend Dash in so many different places. The thing that they've been missing, the missing piece of the puzzle, is earning Dash. So, it's a lot easier for people to be out there spending Dash when they're constantly earning a steady stream of Dash every month. So our goal with this integration is, now we're getting them signed up and earning Dash on a monthly basis, very easily, and then they can go out in the real world and spend it. So yeah, all this stuff is just really coming together nicely, and we're going to have a blowout December, in my opinion. I think November is going to be huge just because we're ending it on this huge launch note. But then I think December is where things like really just hockey stick up in terms of users. Vic Van said, "What do you think will be the network system and effect, or kind of just what is the network effect of Dash integration on INLEO?" It's like I said, I think Dash has been missing this earn and dash piece for a long time. And you can see how excited Joel is and how excited their team is, about the ability to earn dash so easily. So, I think that this is just going to be a co-op. We've been kind of running like a solo campaign, this whole time, and now we're going co-op and we're getting a second team member who can really help us take things to the next level with a community and, brand name that is very well known and recognized in the crypto space. So, Joel and I are working on a bunch of press releases right now that will go out to all the massive, so all the mainstream, crypto, coin, the coin telegraphs and similar marketing platforms and crypto news platforms are all getting PRs right now from the Dash team announcing this stuff and saying join INLEO and earn Dash. So that's all going live. And then on our side, we're doing X ads that are about to go live. And then Joel and I are going to work on doing some Brave ads as well, that say join INLEO and earn Dash. So there's a lot of things that are all heating up at the same point. So, like I said, we've spent not only this past year, but really the past 5 years building all of this stuff so that it's now ready to say it's a ready-made template and ecosystem that we can just drop in people's laps, and they can just join. Beehiver said, is INLEO for Dash launched or not yet? Yeah, it's fully live. So like I said, it fully went live last night. We kind of soft launched it because I wanted to get some feedback and do some bug fixes quietly. And then now the PRs are all out. So if you go to Dash's X account, everything is all live. So they're already putting out PRs. We're putting out PRs. So this stuff is going to get very widespread very quickly. My PSA, once again, if you're already an INLEO user like Beehiver, sign out, and then go to the sign up page and try the Keystore option and sign in, and then make some threads and just play around with it and then give us feedback on it. It's a simple thing to do. It'll take you a few minutes, and then that feedback will really help us refine things. Because we're going to have an explosion in users over the next couple days. And this is what we've been really working hard for. Let's see here. Jennifer asked, do old INLEO members need to create a new account before they can earn Dash on their content? So I think the key thing here is you're earning Leo Hive and HBD. But if you choose the cash out to Dash option, you're actually going to your dashboard and you're just hitting a claim button that will then use Leo Dex on the back end. And I know we didn't really talk about it that much in this episode, but we'll do more content too. Um, it uses Leo Dex on the back end to convert your Leo Hive and HBD into Dash. And it's using Leo Dex to do that. And then Leo Dex takes a fee on that. And then it buys Leo and permanently pools it. So there's a fee that's, generated. There's fee revenue being generated for Leo. But really that's what's happening. So nothing's really changing in terms of earning, other than now you have a claim button and you just click that button and it automatically swaps using Leo Dex. But yes, old members of INLEO will eventually be able to connect their Keystore as well. But this is meant for the new users. Ben said, yeah, press coverage is about to come. Yeah, I mean, me and Joel have been going back and forth for weeks on this, but yeah, we've got PRs going to every major crypto news outlet. We've got X ads going live. We've got Brave ads on the horizon. And then, like I said, working with these Maya interfaces as well for kind of the next iteration of things. So there's a lot of press about this Dash integration that's about to go live. And I keep reiterating too that Dash has this brand name and recognition that INLEO doesn't have. Like we have really great technology. We've been building for 5 years, but Dash has been around for 10 years in the crypto space. They were once a top 10 coin. Most people in crypto recognize the Dash name. So I think combining our technology with their name is a really big piece to getting new users. And by the way, once we get those new users, I saw this comment. I'm sure I'll pull it up at some point, but the way we keep these users and keep them, someone basically asked, who's the welcoming party for these new users? And it's you guys. So it's the existing INLEO community. You guys are the welcome party. So, you need to make sure that you're in the latest feed and you're finding these new users and you're, engaging with them, commenting on their threads, upvoting them, answering their questions when they have them. So, doing those things is really up to you guys. So I hope to see you guys, extremely active. I see Beehiver sharing Dash memes and saying we need more Dash memes. I agree. Memes are a great way to communicate. So let's get some more memes going. Beehiver said, liking post mines Dash directly into your wallet. You just need to claim them when you're over the threshold. Amazing, right? Yeah, it's literally that easy. It's they sign up with Keystore, they join INLEO, they start making content, they start seeing their rewards accrue. So and this is again, I'm going to keep reiterating this. Sign out if you're already an INLEO user and sign up using Keystore and log in. Start make some threads from that new account and then go to your dashboard and you'll actually see the earnings tick up. And then when they get over that threshold, which is about $15, then you can hit the claim button and then it'll convert it all to Dash, and then send it to your connected Keystore wallet. And the reason for that threshold is it's actually a Maya threshold. So if that ever gets reduced on the Maya side, we'll be able to reduce the threshold automatically as well. But it requires the $15 because that's the minimum swap for Leo to Dash. So that's a Maya kind of requirement. Um, yeah. Oh, I hear
So
it.
hold on.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is that a hack for if existing InLeo users want to earn Dash? Or I'm just trying to make sure I'm
No, that's for Dash users that sign up and hit the claim button.
gotcha.
Yeah,
Makes
so
sense.
in the dashboard, the claim button will be grayed out until you get to that $15 threshold, and then you'll be able to claim it, and then it'll go through LeoDex. And like I
Oh,
said, that threshold is set by Maya. It's not set by us.
I thought I heard you say something about logging out.
Oh yeah, I was just saying if you're an existing INLEO user, sign out of INLEO and
Yeah.
sign up and sign in using Keystore because I need more people testing it. That's why I'm saying
Oh,
that.
gotcha. You want people
Yeah.
beta testing.
I want people beta
Makes
testing.
sense.
I also want you guys seeing it from a fresh set of eyes because I think it can give you a lot of perspective. You know, we've all been here for so long, and when
Yes.
you know, Mitch kind of mentioned this too. You mentioned earlier, like as a teacher, you kind of need that beginner's mindset. You need to be able to kind of tap into that a little bit as well. So I think it's really important for all of us to sign out and just like sign up and sign in using fresh eyes and pretend like you've never seen any of this before, and then try to use that as some perspective that you can then give us feedback. And then also when new people come in, now you're well versed in what it's like to sign up and sign in as a new user using Keystore.
I will go and create the Keystore Cat account as
Keystore
we
Cat.
speak.
I like that.
Keystore Cat.
Upvote
Fresh
Keystore
account.
Cat.
Keystore Cat.
Upvote Keystore Cat.
Oh, it's too
Um,
funny.
yeah, that uh here's another question about how the rewards work. Uju asks, so how will earnings be calculated if someone earns 10 Leo on a thread, does that mean they earn 10 dash 2? No, so it's like I just explained. So you're earning Leo Hive and HBD just as you would be, you know, prior to this announcement and launch. But when you earn that, it stacks up in your wallet. And then when it hits that threshold, there's a claim button in the dashboard and you can hit claim and then it just converts it all using Leo Dex into Dash, and then it takes a small fee for that and perma buys Leo and perma pools it. Yeah, Ahmad Manga said, should I create a new key store or wait to add a key store to an existing account? And I replied to that over text, but I said do both. So, you know, play with it, you know, use it. I mean, we built these tools. Obviously, they're aimed at new users, but you guys as the existing community and Leo token holders are really responsible for helping us get the feedback to make these things better. Um, You already answered that one. Gloria said this integration came at the right time. Yeah, I mean, we've been working on this for a while. Like Joel said, we met in Croatia, you know, during High Fest, and then really we're talking about all these things and trying to figure out how we could work together. And you know, he put up a really nice tweet that you can go find, or post that you can go find on his X account. You know, saying that we talked about this stuff and he didn't really expect it. You know, he you know, obviously took it seriously, like we've been talking about it, and I've been keeping him updated with my research and then, you know, design and development of it. But I think it was kind of like a lofty dream at the time, like, oh, it'd be so cool if we could do this. And then I was like, no, but I can do that. Like we, you know, INLEO can do that. So, you know, over the last couple months, obviously getting to where we are now, I'm just really happy with the team and what we've done. Let's see what else we got. I'm getting to the end here. Beehiver said Dash supports recurring payments for services like streaming or memberships, utilizing its speed and reliability. That would be a great use case for INLEO subscriptions. Yeah, so the payment rails for buying premium and creator subs using Dash are in place. So actually, the team and I are testing the back end of that right now. So yeah, this right now we kind of rolled it out in a two-phase approach. So now the sign up and earn and dash are live. And then the next phase is going to be rolled out in the next like probably 2 to 3 days, which is going to be, you know, pay for premium or pay for creator subs using Dash. So we're also waiting for Maya because they're releasing an update for Arbitrum swaps. So we're kind of waiting for that as well before we release the payments side of things. Um, a Dash-centered app like INLEO eliminates dependency or centralized platforms like Twitter, ensuring censorship-resistant communication and ownership of data from Beehiver. Yeah, it's, you know, my goal with this integration was that Dash people can come in and sign up with Keystore and use the platform and feel like it was a native Dash app, like INLEO was built for Dash users. That's really the goal with this integration, and that should be the goal with any integration that we do. We've built, and Joel mentioned this as well. We ended up doing this integration a lot differently than we originally were going to. So originally, you were going to sign up directly with like a Dash Pay mobile app, and sign up to INLEO with that Dash wallet. But then we figured out there were some technical hurdles with that, which then ended up making us go back to the drawing board. And then we landed on Keystore instead. And by doing that, we actually did something really, really important, which is this Dash integration can be copy pasted to anything that is Keystore compatible. So that's Bitcoin, ETH, Rune, Maya, USDC Arbitrum, like all of these different currencies and communities can now immediately copy and paste the Dash template we just built, and we can do it for all those communities. So I mentioned this on the last AMA, but the plan right now is full focus on Dash, get them all onboarded, familiar with the platform, and really hammer out this template and make it, refine it, make it perfect. And then from there, we'll be able to copy paste that template with other communities. My plan is do it for Dash and then do it for Maya and then do it for Thorchain and do those three before the end of the year. So that's all coming before the end of December. And that's my rollout plan for other communities as well. Vic Van said INLEO has made it possible to not post random things and not monetize it. Just do your stuff regularly on INLEO and see things unfold for the better. Yeah, INLEO is meant to be just, it's like social media, but you get paid. I mean, it's like, and it's on the blockchain, and there's obviously more layers to it, but it's meant to be as easy to use as any platform. So use INLEO as you'd use any other platform, and then you simply earn crypto, and your content can't be taken away from you. Your data can't be taken away from you. Self-Help Patrol said, it's nice to focus on a few good crypto communities first, generate some more hype, and then focus a bit more on the normies. Yeah, I mean, look at it this way. Our number one target audience are crypto users. They're people that already know how this stuff works. If you try to frame an ideal INLEO user, it'd be someone who's used crypto for a while and is very familiar with it. If we can get those people onboarded, that's going to be our best type of user, especially in these early days. And then over time, the platform gets even easier to use, more user friendly. There's a lot more generalized content, and naturally normies are going to start joining as well. So yeah, I agree with the focus on a few good crypto communities first, and you're going to see that with the Dash, Maya, and Thorchain rollouts. Mod Manga asked something unrelated to Dash, but any timeline on the referral payout finally working? I'm pretty sure a lot of us will have motivation if we received our first payout. Yeah, so the payout button is there, and you'll see that I graded out for the time being. We need to do some more work on the payment rail of it because I noticed a bug. But yeah, probably this week, I would say we're going to reactivate it. It's actually been active for a long time. But then after a few people started claiming, I noticed a few issues. So again, I still don't understand the motivation thing because like the button's there, the rewards get stacked, the rewards aren't going anywhere. So keep referring people and stacking the rewards, and the button's going to work when it works. And I don't know. I just think too many people get hung up on things like that. But yeah, the referral button will be reactivated soon, as soon as I'm comfortable with the rails for it. And by the way, underappreciated is that when Dash people refer people in, they're going to be earning Leo that gets sent to their wallet after they do the referral claim. And then that will get added to their next Dash claim. So they can actually refer people in and earn Dash for those referrals. So that's going to be a whole other marketing piece with the Dash community, which is really to make things go viral. And I'll talk to Joel about how that works more. But yeah, anyone who's with the Dash community and then onboards people will actually be able to earn Dash for referring, their friends. So another big marketing point.
Yeah, the reason people want the button to work is because that's the reward, that's the payoff. You don't get the dopamine hit until you can press the button, and it doesn't matter if you're seeing it
When
stack,
button.
all right? That does not keep you motivated. That doesn't give you the reward fix, all right?
Yeah.
Got to keep
Yeah.
them
Well,
hooked.
yeah. Well, and we're lowering so the threshold before was $25 before you could claim. And we're lowering that to be very, very low now. So when that button gets reactivated, I do agree on the dopamine hit. So it'll be reactivated for essentially pennies. You'll be able to claim. because I do think people will sit there and just want to be claiming constantly. It is a big
Nice. I can
dopamine
go
thing.
junkie phase and just
Yeah. Click,
click
click,
every
click.
day.
You'll wake up every day and you'll claim your couple cents.
I love it.
Um, so yeah, that's all
Love it.
coming.
Y'all got any of those rewards?
Yeah, when
Look,
memes?
there's a meme.
We
Someone
need
get the
more
meme
memes.
going.
Yeah,
Someone get
someone
the Dave Chappelle meme going.
yeah, someone
Y'all got
listening
any
is a
more of those?
meme expert.
Y'all got any more of those referrals? Cool,
Yeah,
cool.
I think I'm pretty much caught up on questions. So we rapid
Nice.
fired a bunch of those. So I'm feeling pretty
Nice.
good. Like I said, there's going to be so much content. There's going to be a press release from the INLEO, the at Leo Finance account, and then the INLEO X account. We'll have long form posts on a daily basis for the next week explaining all this stuff. Everything is live now, and I will leave you guys with my PSA being, sign out of INLEO right now after we get off of this AMA and sign up and sign in with Keystore. Use a fresh mind, try it out. Make some threads, look at your dashboard, and um, familiarize yourself with how it all works. So, yeah, here you got Beehiver. I just created a new Keystore based InLeo user. It worked flawlessly, and it's I like your name. It's B Dasher. I like that. That's actually a really good. Beehiver just made a B Dasher account. That's awesome.
It's great.
Yeah, so that's what I want to see. I want to see more of that. And then any feedback you guys have, positive or negative, however we can make it better, post those threads with hashtag feedback. I think everybody, like literally, if all of you guys right now can just sign out and then sign up and sign in with Keystore and try it out and then give me feedback. That's really my one ask for the day. And then, we can make it 10 times better.
Hashtag feedback.
Hashtag feedback. Mitch, any
Awesome.
closing thoughts from your end?
When moon, that's it. Let's go
We're at
Bitcoin
six
100K.
cents. We're at
Let's
six
go
cents.
Bitcoin 100K and Leo double digits. Um it's been an interesting crypto market. Obviously, we're getting some profit taking in Bitcoin right now. We'll see if that follows through to the downside or if it's just a little breather before 100K. And yeah, come on bull market and when alt bull market. So let's go 2025.
Sweet. Yep, let's do it. This is our
No
year.
doubt.
All right. Thanks, Mitch. Thanks everybody for coming to the launch party. Really exciting to have this all rolled out and live as of now. So this is going to be a huge integration. I think a huge turning point for Leo in terms of monthly active users and for Leo Dex in terms of trading volume. Like I said, all this gets routed through Leo Dex. So press releases are on the way. You're going to start seeing INLEO mentioned on Cointelegraph and all these other news outlets. You're probably going to see an INLEO Brave ad in the very near future, INLEO X ads. So big marketing push for the end of this month and into December. But yeah, welcome all the Dash users. Try all this stuff out. Feedback, feedback, feedback. And we'll see you guys on the other side.
Indeed.
Peace.